Hi, this is Melanie Dawn, and this is Wisdom. Today, first of all, I'm sitting in the campground where I often do my podcast. It's beautiful, beautiful day, good energy. I love coming here and just sitting on a bench and talking to you guys. So today I want to talk about empathy, compassion, surrender. I want to talk about the importance of all of this when it comes to relationships, friendships, relationships with your siblings, relationships with your children, relationships, any kind of relationships, grandchildren. It's important that these three topics, I guess, like I've done them individually, why they're so important in a relationship. I live my life not having much empathy and compassion for others, and it took me many years to realize I didn't have it in myself. I didn't have empathy for myself, for my inner child, and compassion and love and all that we should have in a relationship with ourselves. We rush through life and we forget to stop and take a breath and have compassion for who we are. We carry shame and we carry anger, jealousy, whatever it may be, and we need to have compassion for all those feelings. And once we begin to feel compassion for ourselves and empathy, and we surrender the control, very important. I'm going to do a whole podcast on surrender. We begin to feel it towards others. It's amazing. We begin to listen to others, and we don't have to understand, but we can have empathy. When someone tells me that they're angry, I may not understand the anger, but I understand anger within myself, so therefore I have empathy for anger. I try to understand that. And in order to do that, don't we have to feel compassion for ourselves and give ourselves a break? That my new trip I'm on right now is surrender. It's surrendering the control. Control has kept me safe my whole life. I've controlled my situations. I feel like I try to control people for many years. Think how foolish that is. We can't control anyone, and we can't control the situation. So I am surrendering my control over whatever I'm in, my situation, where I'm going, what I'm doing with people. And it has released me so much to feel compassion and empathy for myself. And I had a situation earlier this week where I understood the anger from someone I love, but normally the old Melanie would have tried to fix it and tried to be right in the middle of it and try to make it better, because I try to make myself better. But instead I backed off, and I realized I needed to surrender trying to control the situation. First of all, people cannot grow if you're constantly trying to fix it. And I backed off. And by backing off, I had more compassion for myself, less anxiety. I couldn't fix anything. And the person that I love so much has to just forgive and have compassion for themselves. And I find that this is such a freedom. It releases me from control. And it's important to recognize that in yourself. From the time I was small, I wanted to control everything. It's safety. It's our ego, man. We want to keep ourselves safe. We want to not feel those deep feelings. Where now I stop and say, I wonder where that's coming from. And I go more into myself, and it always comes from me. I want to control it because it keeps me safe. So surrender the control. It's a practice, believe me. When you've been that way for many years, you have to really redirect and go inward with it. And and not try to control the situation. It's a horrible way to feel, and it causes such deep anxiety within. And have empathy and compassion for ourselves is then we can have it for others. When someone has a moment, it could be an angry cashier at the store. If you take a breath, and this is what I do, and you say, I understand that emotion, I understand that feeling, I don't know their life, but I understand it because I myself have felt it, releases the need to be angry at them, to be upset with the situation. You have more empathy, you have more compassion for the other person. And it's very important that we feel that way. I feel that that's how our world will survive. That's how people survive in relationships is having that empathy and compassion, and you surrender the control. They're all kind of tied in for me. I find that this makes my world a kinder place. It's easier to be with people. We are on this solo trip. Nobody knows our mind. Nobody knows our hearts. Nobody knows what we've been through. And when we understand that everybody has this, it gives us more compassion for the people that we encounter throughout the day. And it's a practice. It's not easy because what we've learned, our habits, are really how we connect with the outer world. And surrender is a big one for me. I don't need to control people, and I don't need to control my situation, because fuck, guys, we really have no control over any of it. And that's why surrender is so important. And allowing ourselves to surrender and listen to people and have compassion and have empathy. Empathy is going to save us. It's going to save us from hurt and from control. It is. It's empathy within, compassion for ourselves, and we can be a person that people can feel safe coming to and talking to and sharing their emotions, and validation for what we're feeling. Isn't that what we want? You know, somebody in our relationships, whatever they may be, may say, I'm feeling angry. And you're going, angry for what? For, I don't even understand it. But you can understand anger. So therefore comes the empathy and the compassion. Once it's not maybe the situation we're in, but if we can grab that feeling and say, oh my God, I understand sadness. I felt sadness myself. I understand anger. I felt anger myself. Then we can have more empathy and compassion for someone else. We want to explore and not ignore those beautiful emotions and feelings that we have, and that we understand and therefore feel in others. It's the surrendering of control. We don't have to control anybody and anything around us. We can have empathy and compassion for what someone else is feeling, regardless if you know them or not. We know the feeling, and that's very important. And we surrender up the need to control it. And we need to validate other people's feelings, other people's thoughts about something. We tend to dismiss and go, oh, I don't even understand why you're feeling that. Well, we do understand what they're feeling. We may not understand it, but we do understand what they're feeling. We understand that emotion, and that's a connection. That's compassion. That's empathy. All right, wisdom for today is surrender. Surrender, you guys, the need to control everything. Have more empathy and compassion for whoever's in your life at the time. All right, Nurse Mallow on Instagram or Facebook, and have a great day.